Whoa, that shirt is so fancy. There's a reason I'm wearing this, Aaron. Does it give off a certain movie vibe? Emerald City? No, not Emerald City. Well, it's definitely not Matrix. Speaking of, we should watch the new Matrix trailer. Yes, Matrix hype! I am super excited. Let's watch it, guys. Let's watch it.
Thomas? You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I was just gonna say that sounds like Neil Patrick Harris.
Am I crazy? We
Is
don't
the
use
man-
that word in here.
Does the man not age? Keanu does not age, I swear. Ooh, Jefferson Airplane. Me too, I love him.
Hi.
Have we met?
One pill makes you larger,
She's alive?
and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice
I love this song choice for this trailer.
when she's 10 feet tall.
What?
Time to fly.
Okay, that is not him. And he's...
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to fly me.
The only thing that matters to you is still here.
It
I know
looks-
it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up.
It looks really cool.
You don't know me. No?
Soon! Christmas! Oh, dang. The budget looks big. Yeah, so he's not in this. You're right. This is so epic! Christmas, guys.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
I love that guy too. That guy was in what's that show on Netflix? What's that show? Did you guys watch that show he was in? Where he was like investigating like the killers and stuff? Mind something? What was it? Okay, I'm really hyped for this. I can't believe it comes out at Christmas. Wait, this trailer, I feel like it just came out, didn't it? And yet it's already coming out on Christmas? I feel like that's actually like really quick. The amount of hidden references is freaking amazing. Okay, tell us, Bearded Fury. Tell us without spoilers. Neil Patrick Harris is in it. Lawrence Fishburne, you think, had another project. That is such a bummer. He's like such an iconic person and actor for this entire like series. And then Carrie-Anne Moss is back. So Trinity either... Okay, it looks like maybe there's some like, what, alternate timeline or he goes into like another dimension to like get to Trinity and like another... I don't know. What do you guys think? Keanu just doesn't age, guys. Like, what is the deal? I mean, I don't understand. The man just looks like he did, you know, when in his 20s. I mean, he just looks great. Goes another layer of the Matrix. Oh, wait. So is it like kind of going to be like Inception? You know, where there's like multiple, like you go through and then you go through again. You're thinking of Jonathan Groff from Mindhunter. Thank you. Yes, Mindhunter. I knew it was Mind something. Possibly what we thought was real was just another layer of the Matrix. Oh my gosh, Corey. It's getting so deep. Wait. So it's just like our whole perception of reality is once again challenged. I like this, Corey. I like this a lot. Okay, so there's a good breakdown of the trailer on YouTube that talks about the different references, hidden stuff in the trailer. This one is all about the hidden Easter eggs.
Welcome to Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy, and this is all of the Easter eggs, references, and little things that you might have missed in the first trailer for Matrix Resurrections. I'm going to be talking about some of the teaser shots from the whatisthematrix.com site that weren't shown in this trailer. And first of all, I'm also going to give you a brief recap on how the Matrix series ended if it's been a while since you've seen the sequels. If you don't know this primer, then skip to this time code. At the end of Matrix Reloaded, Neo discovered that he was not the only one, the first savior of the human race. He was, in fact, the sixth person with godlike powers in the Matrix, and he was just another way for the machines to control humanity. He chose to risk humanity's existence to save Trinity, while Agent Smith kept replicating himself like a computer virus.
Oh, you guys getting all the feels back?
The machines and humanity, Neo struck a bargain with the leader of the machines. He would allow himself to be absorbed by the source code of the Matrix and defeat Smith in exchange for a truce in the war. Now, eventually, Neo let Smith assimilate him, but because he was connected to the source, this defeated the Smiths, and Neo's consciousness appeared to be absorbed into
special
the
effects,
machine.
like,
The movie
they
ends
almost
with
hold
humans
up.
being
I mean, they
given
look
the choice
pretty
to leave
incredible.
or stay in the Matrix, and a tenuous truce between humanity and the machines was in place. Now let's talk about this trailer. So all week long, the site whatisthematrix.com reappeared, offering you a chance to take a red pill or a blue pill. Of course, in the first Matrix, taking a red pill made Neo enter the real world, while a blue pill would have allowed him to stay within the Matrix unaware. So on the site, clicking the red pill takes you to a series of shots narrated by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Here's a pretty neat detail. No matter what time you clicked on the site, he always reads your exact time. Clicking the blue pill will take you to a different set of images narrated by neo-psychiatrist Neil Patrick Harris. Now, I'm telling you all this because this new trailer is actually divided up into a blue pill half and a red pill half. The trailer opens on the simulation inside the Matrix with Neo, now back to being plain old Thomas Anderson, speaking to his psychiatrist, who, like I said, is played by Neil Patrick Harris. And there are a lot of very interesting details.
Oh, you did, Carol?
Office.
What did you guys discuss about it?
Deja vu cat. Remember, in the first Matrix, Neo sees the cat twice, and then we learn
Deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something.
But like all the Easter eggs in the trailer, this actually has a deeper meaning. This whole trailer is deja vu, with events from the original trilogy being repeated, but this isn't just fan service. The movie is called Matrix Resurrections because Neo is being woken up and resurrected once again. Remember, the original Matrix trilogy was actually operating on a cycle, with events repeating themselves over and over for about 600 years. But I don't think that's what's happening here. I've got a theory on why we're seeing these events play out that I'm going to go over a little later in the video. So in addition to the deja vu cat, we see a bust that is a map of the brain, similar to how phrenologists map the skull. In this case, the Matrix essentially uses a map of the brain to control humanity. And also notice here that we see a red butterfly and a blue butterfly, symbolizing the red and blue pills. Butterflies are regarded as a symbol of change and transformation. Neo transformed in the first film, then now he's back into Thomas Anderson, and he's about to transform again.
Yeah, what is that? The butterfly effect, right? Isn't that a movie that's kind of similar as far as like, you know, the whole transformation and all that? And then that theme. I feel like that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Again. So NPH is playing his shrink, which is probably another system.
NPH? I love Neil Patrick Harris so much.
System of control. Notice he's even wearing blue-rimmed glasses, and later we see that he's wearing a blue sweater. All signs of the cool, tinted reality the machines have created for humans. Or have they?
Subliminal messaging, right? It's like your subconscious, and it's like telling you like what you should be gravitating towards. You know what I mean?
Neo says,
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
And then the street he's standing on transforms into Matrix code, which is, of course, how Neo came to see the Matrix in the original trilogy. Now, I think this shot is his dream, him being able to see what's real when he's in an unconscious state.
How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
Remember, when the agents first implanted him with a bug, Neo woke up and assumed everything that he just experienced was a dream. Now, this is the same street we saw in one of those website images that showed him walking toward a coffee place called Simu Latte, a pun on simulation, and the channel Matrix explained.
And latte. How the high saturation of the pills and low saturation of the background adds to the heightened suspense or mood. Oh, very cool, Carol. Very cool.
Pointed out that the one-way sign here is directing Neo toward this coffee place. I think this is where we see him fighting cops later in this trailer. Now, it could be that Neo dreamed of this place, and that dream directed him here when he was awake. Now, that would be interesting, because the Matrix is essentially a dream. So, a dream within a dream implies that there could actually be a Matrix within a Matrix. Later in the trailer, we see that technology technology has advanced past 1999, so in theory, people living in the Matrix could have the tools to create new artificial intelligence living inside the artificial intelligence. And as we'll see, there is evidence later on that people in the Matrix are creating a Matrix of their own. So, as for how Neo is back, we don't know that he actually died in Revelations. He was absorbed by the source code. But then, as far as we know, the 6 previous incarnations of the One were also absorbed by the source code and were all reincarnated as a new version of the One. Except, unlike the others, Neo had an attachment to a single person, Trinity.
Your experience is far more specific vis-a-vis love.
First impressions, do you think that the movie is gonna do well? I'm just curious, like, what do you guys think? Because a lot of times they'll remake, like, you know, big franchise movies and things like that. And I mean, we were just talking about this the other day. Remember we were talking about Spider-Man and how there's been so many, and it feels like we just had a Spider-Man and there's another and then another. This is the first time, actually, right? This would be the first time. And not only that, but they have so many of the original cast, like, in it. So that's obviously so cool. I love when they can do that. It's got, like I said, without Morpheus. I mean, we have the character, but not the actor. The original actor. So that's going to be frustrating. But, you know, I still think it's going to do pretty well. Butterfly Effect's theme is based on the Buddhist belief that a butterfly flaps its wings in one place in the wind and is moved and can create a tsunami far away, meaning everything is connected and everything we do affects others, no matter if you know those people. Also, Butterfly Effect point was you can't control destiny. Very cool, Sparkles. Thank you for that insight. You think it's going to do really well, guys? Yeah, probably will. It's a continuation, not a reboot. Yeah, I mean, that's very clear. I feel like it's very clear that he feels like, you know, obviously the attachment and the loss of Trinity. And he feels, you know, the connection, even though she could sense the connection when they shook hands, but she clearly doesn't have a memory of them. And that's why I was saying, is this like an Inception type thing or like an alternative, you know, dimension in the Matrix? Or like Corey said, another layer in the Matrix? Will make a lot when it's released, but I think it will take personally. Wait, so Corey, are you excited about it, or are you anti it, or you just think that even if you're excited, overall it's not going to do that well? Will certainly do really well, especially with all the hype. And it's coming out at Christmas. I mean, that's like around the corner. You think Jonathan Groff's character might be Merovingian? The Merovingian, sometimes called the Frenchman, is an old powerful program that resides within the Matrix, self-described as trafficker of information. The Merovingian behaves much as a leader of a powerfully organized crime syndicate. He and his wife operate a smuggling ring, providing a haven for exiled programs in the Matrix. In the films, he is portrayed by Lambert Wilson. Wait, okay. He's the French guy in the second and third? Okay, now I have to completely go back and watch because he looks absolutely familiar, but yet this is not registering. Okay, let's keep going.
Some people go their entire lives without hearing news that good.
So it could be that this attachment is what helped him to maintain the consciousness from his previous life. But it goes deeper than that. As I'll explain later on, I think that the humans could actually be the secret villains of this movie. Then we see brief flashes, Matrix source code appearing in this guy's eyes. Then Neo's younger body from Revelation after he's blinded being tended to by the machines. There is other symbolism with eyes in this trailer, like how Neo's pupils dilate when he takes the drug. And the people attacking him here have glowing eyes, a way of saying that their vision is being clouded by a system of control. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II plays a character who acts, dresses, and looks a lot like a younger version of Morpheus.
Wait, he is supposed to be the younger version of Morpheus, is he not? He's saying it like it's a theory, like, or something. Isn't he supposed to be Morpheus? Or no? I totally got that vibe too. I'm like, okay, clearly this is supposed to be Morpheus when he's younger. You really want Neil Patrick Harris to be the new Smith? Oh, that would be sick, right? But he's gonna end up being an architect. Ooh, no, this is Morpheus. Morpheus.
Or at least they want us to make that connection. It could be that because we're dealing with cycles and resurrection that he is a new Morpheus, or the original, or more likely, someone who's taken on an appearance similar to Morpheus to wake Neo up.
Okay, so it's not supposed to be Morpheus, but he's just supposed to, like, you know, represent Morpheus to just, you know, the same thing, a young Morpheus? Yeah! Or Morpheus' son?
Or to influence Neo in some way. He isn't necessarily a good guy. In the Blue Pill trailer, we see his body being formed in a blue chamber, perhaps implying that he was actually created by the machines or to serve the forces of the Blue Pill. We see him in a shootout that features red doors and blue doors, and later we'll see that one of these doors leads into a twisty-turvy hallway, just like...
Okay, I'm gonna ask a very naive question, but I just must know. Was The Matrix, did it start out as a book? or just like a script? Did it start out just for film? It totally makes me think of all these, you know, Lord of the Rings, like Game of Thrones, like all these epic like trilogies or franchises that start from a book. It was not a book, so this actually is very surprising. I mean, gosh, the writer of this, clearly such a vision. Does anybody know if the original writer or writers are also behind this? I would not be surprised if that same person ended up, or people ended up going and writing a book series after the fact. I mean, it's so late now. Clearly, they might have already been working on it, or they probably would have if they were ever going to before now. But gosh, I mean, I feel like you could listen to the audiobooks about this. You could read the books on it. Same director, not sure about the writers. Should we look it up? Screenplay by Lana Wachowski. Wait, I swear I saw that name in the trailer. And Lily Wachowski. Oh, nice. Wait, 2 females wrote The Matrix? Epic AF. Heck yeah, that's amazing. Because, okay, tell me if you agree. I feel like a lot of women do enjoy The Matrix, but I feel like it's definitely dominated by a male market. I feel like the majority of the fan base is male. And my mind is blown right now that 2 females wrote the screenplay for The Matrix. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what's this? Okay, what's the new Matrix called? Let's see if it's the same writers. Matrix Resurrections. Matrix 4:21. Okay, this is the one. Ready? Screenplay. Interesting. So Lily is out. Lana Wachowski is still gets a credit as the screenplay, and they brought on, it looks like two males as well, David Mitchell and Alexander Herman. Interesting. Oh my gosh, my mind is completely blown right now. That's so cool.
Like when the keymaker from Matrix Reloaded would open back doors that could take them anywhere inside the machine's code. Also, later on, we're going to see one of these doors open up onto the car.
I call this guys the
moving
twins.
train.
I love
There are lots of close-ups of Neo taking someone's hand, probably Trinity's. This symbolizes them forming a connection, as handshakes show that you have no weapons and are a form of trust. Now, this shot looks like Trinity in the opening of the first movie, but don't be fooled. This could easily be, say, Christina Ricci's character, as new humans are living through the simulation that Neo and Trinity have already gone through. For all we know,
Wait, Christina Ricci? Wait, was Christina Ricci in The Matrix before? Christina Ricci? She wasn't even in the trailer, was she? Did I completely miss her in the trailer? I did not notice her in the trailer.
we could be watching the first version of the 1, or it could be the 100th, or it could be something completely new. Then there are more flashes, machines harvesting humans in a sea of red smoke, symbolizing the brutal reality of the red pill. But it's above the color green, the color of the Matrix code. So this is saying that the control of the Matrix is something that the humans have to learn to rise above. Then we see Neo back in his pod, and this is probably him remembering waking up in the first movie. Now this is interesting. Another close-up shot of hands, this time of someone with a very interesting ring, almost like a computer chip.
Ooh. Okay, I hope it is a computer chip. I mean, it doesn't look like it from here. It looks kind of like, it actually doesn't look that cool from here. It looks like the middle is like empty or something. But this is giving me some cool cosplay vibes. Guys, should I cosplay as Trinity? Or maybe Christina Ricci's character? She's cool. Oh, by the way, I totally got a flashback when we saw that image of Christina Ricci. It made me think of Eleven in Stranger Things 2, I think it was. Did anybody else, really quick, get total Matrix vibes from her outfit and everything in season 2 of Stranger Things? But yeah, this is cool. I can make this ring, you know, in cosplay. This is from Wiki. So Wachowskis were brothers, but now they're both trans women. Oh, really? I didn't know that. So that's even more interesting. Very cool. Very cool. I love that. That is very cool.
Now,
okay.
I believe that the Merovingian is returning in this movie. If that's the case, then he would be a program that remembers the original Neo, well, I guess on all the Neos that came before him.
I have survived your predecessors, and I will survive you.
So he could be key for Neo.
Wait, is that the guy? Is that the guy you guys were talking about? Is that the French guy? Yes, that's him. That's the Merovingian. I'm saying his name totally wrong.
Neo to wake up in this film. When the shot returns to Neil Patrick Harris, we see that now there is only a blue butterfly in the background, a way of saying that he thinks he's asserted control over Thomas once again. But the reverse shot shows the opposite. Mr. Anderson is in front of wallpaper that looks like a red maze, showing that he's now on a path to escape his present life. Then Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit begins to play. This story of Alice in Wonderland to talk about the transformative power of hallucinogenic drugs.
Yeah, did you guys know that actually? So I took a history of rock class in school, which is, and it's interesting because my dad is a huge classic rock fan. And as a lot of you know, I'm really into music. And my dad got me into all the music I pretty much know, almost all of it. And so growing up, you know, like he always would like tell me stories about like the artists or like the bands and how they came to be. And so I learned all this stuff from him. But Jefferson Airplane is actually one that I learned from my history of rock class. So I remember doing like a project or something where we got to like dive into the band and stuff. And then this particular song is like, yeah, like a toss to Alice in Wonderland and about how like when you take like the pill or something, it can totally transform, you know, everything. And so pretty cool reference.
In Alice in Wonderland, she was presented with potions that allowed her to grow or shrink, and each choice would also allow her to enter a new realm of Wonderland. In the same way, this movie and the original Matrix used the story of Alice in Wonderland as an allegory for Neo's journey.
I imagine
there you go.
Right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole.
Then we see Mr. Anderson.
I love this shot. Did anybody else notice this shot in the trailer? I love this shot. Oh, Keanu. Okay, now I really want to know about this scene because the scene is hilarious. He looks like he's having a hard time. He looks like he's going through the motions and he's sitting there with just this like look of like, you know, like trying to make sense of something. But yet the duck on top of the head, I wonder, is it just going to cut to him sitting just like this, like they did in the trailer? Or is he going to take a moment and grab the duck and like solemnly put it on his head? I mean, I'm just like, me more than I'm really interested, like, what the situation is here. He's sitting in the tub, like he'd be in the pod. In the pod? Oh, wait, but there was no duck in the pod. There was no ducky in the pod, so I still wouldn't know what the duck has to do with it. You're right, so he's, like, sitting in, like, the pod. Oh, good catch. I did not notice that. But the duck, I mean, come on. Also, why is it... Okay, you guys know the ducks, they come in all forms, especially the little ones. They come in all colors. Why isn't the duck like half red and half blue or something, you know? Like, come on. Or it should have been like a solid color or, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Bathed in cool blue sunlight, taking a bath with a duck on his head. Water typically symbolizes purity or emotion, but in this case, the duck rests on him instead of the bathwater, implying that Mr. Anderson is placid, like the water in the bath. Then we see either tears or water running down his face. Anytime you can see rain.
That's what I meant. He's like going through the motions, but yet he has the duck on his head.
Running water or anything falling in lines in the Matrix, it's always a symbol of the Matrix source code. Even in this car scene in the original film, when the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar briefly offer Neo a safe haven from the Matrix code, or, you know, in this case, the physical rain. Okay, so then he meets Trinity, but she died in Revelations. Well, this movie's not called Matrix Stay Dead, is it? This could be a copy of Trinity's consciousness, maybe created by the machines or maybe the humans from the numerous times she was jacked into the Matrix mainframe. So the first movies explored the ways that machines and humans controlled one another and then came to rely on one another.
Down here sometimes I think about all those people still plugged into the Matrix, and when I look at these machines, I can't help thinking that in a way we are plugged into them.
Maybe this movie is exploring the idea that as humans become more ingrained with their tech and devices, we become more machine-like. Just how in the original movies, the programs became more human.
Your programs? Oh yes. I am the power plant systems manager for recycling operations. My wife is an interactive software programmer. She is highly creative.
So now we're actually seeing these two life forms become one and interchangeable. There's only one holdout, Neo. As the remainder, his special abilities place him above everyone else, and he can't be eliminated because the mathematical principle that created him is essential to maintaining the integrity of the...
What's that guy's name again that they just showed? I definitely have to go back and rewatch it. I know Lucky's gonna be super excited to do that exact thing because, you know, he's a huge Matrix fan. He's the architect? Okay, so you guys think that Neil Patrick Harris's character, is he just like another architect? Like completely unrelated to the original, but his like another architect? Don't you guys think this was so ahead of its time? I mean, still just looking back, like giving me all the feels. I mean, like it was completely original.
Matrix. Later, we see people in an elevator all enjoying their devices, their attachment to machines, but not Neo. He cannot be fully integrated into
the Oracle!
So maybe this can actually be the humans and the machines working together to contain Neo. He takes blue pills from a prescription bottle. In an earlier teaser image, we saw that the pills are actually called ontolofloxin. Ontology is the study of concepts or existence or reality, and floxins are drugs used to eliminate infections. So this drug is literally called Reality Purger. Again, thanks Matrix Explained for that observation. It's a really cool channel. On the street, Neo is standing near Corky's massage. Now at this point, he's still kind of like a ship in a bottle that's about to be uncorked. And the sigil here is very reminiscent of the Roman Aquila, the standard of the armies of ancient Rome. So in the original movies, Neo was a metaphor for Christ. not subtle. And we actually see a few crosses appear in this trailer.
Is that symbolic?
The connection being that it was the Romans who crucified Jesus, and the Romans are the machines. Neo is looking at the sun, a symbol of truth, life, and enlightenment, showing that he's waking up from his dreamlike state.
Cool shot.
Feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming.
In the elevator I mentioned earlier, we see that the ceiling is a mirror, and mirrors are very important metaphors in the original trilogy.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland.
They're used to reveal our true selves, and Neo wakes up by entering a looking glass, just like Alice in Wonderland. And just to make sure you caught that metaphor, they cut to the book here. And it looks like the person reading that book is a reincarnation of the Oracle.
I was gonna say, did anybody else think that that was the Oracle when you saw, like, I don't know what it was. Was it the glasses? Or I don't know. I totally was like that.
Best guess, at least. After all, we already saw her reincarnated once in Revelations.
I don't yet recognize my face in the mirror, but...
Oracle's daughter and Morpheus' son, and the architect's distant cousin. I'm interested to see how they handle the movie with the lack of payphones these days. What a great comment! Oh my gosh, yes, because now everything is like, you know, cell phones and stuff. Without the payphones, I wonder how they're gonna touch on that.
And his image changes. I think this is how he actually appears to everyone in the Matrix, but we see him as his residual self-image, how he sees himself. This location is also very important, and I'll go over it later on. Then Morpheus says, "Time to fly," while he's wearing...
Wait, he just said before this is supposed to be Morpheus, and now we just said it like it was a fact. Now, and then Morpheus says... So is he Morpheus, or is he disguised as Morpheus?
In a red shirt, offering a red pill, shifting us into the red pill half of the trailer. And of course, saying that it's time to fly is because when Neo became fully realized as the One, he learned to fly.
He's doing this Superman thing.
Could also be a callback to this.
It's called mescaline. It's the only way to fly.
In the original Matrix, Neo met Trinity by following a woman with a white rabbit tattoo. Again, Alice in Wonderland. In this case, it's Jessica Henwick with the tattoo. Again, I'm not sure if she's trying to help him or if she's part of a human-machine conspiracy to make him think that she's helping him. They enter a door made of light, just like the one Neo used to speak to the architect at the end of Reloaded. And just like in the first movie, they pass through a liquid mirror.
The only thing that matters to you is still here.
And they're referring to Trinity, or more precisely, Trinity's consciousness. And right here we see that her face is starting to kind of melt downward, implying that she's made of code, just like the Matrix.
I did not notice
in
that.
this garage, we see the same motorcycle that she rode in Reloaded. And then Morpheus is training Neo on a lake of placid water, placid like the bath water, trying to get him to unleash his full abilities. Again, this is a callback to the first Matrix.
You think that's air you're breathing now?
On the first title card, notice that some of the source code is rising, implying that Neo is rising from the dead. Then we see more harvesting machines and what looks like the wreckage of Zion. Now, is this because the machines went back on their deal and destroyed it? Or did the humans abandon the city when they went to go live above ground? I kind of think more likely that the humans all volunteered to return to the Matrix. Trinity and Neo are on a roof together as she's helping him to reconnect to his forgotten life. Then an agent takes over a cop, again echoing the original film.
Oh yes, I love that. When they like just take over people. Oh, I love that. That was so cool. Oh.
Someone has a gun on Neo in the rain. I have no idea who this is, so shout out a theory down in the comments.
Is it Agent Smith? Is it him? Do you guys think it's Neil Patrick Harris? Who do you think that is? Who do you think that shadowy figure in the rain is with a gun on Keanu? I mean, Neo. Is this just one-off movie? That's a good question. I mean, I think it's just one. They're calling it The Matrix 4.
I just hope it's not Agent Smith. And then we see a SWAT team storming a theater, the same theater where Neo saw his true reflection. You can actually see the mirror on stage here. Now it's interesting that this terminal looks like the ones that operators use to track the Matrix, and maybe this projected image is a more advanced way of visualizing the Matrix.
The image translators work for the construct program, but there's way too much information to decode the Matrix.
If that's the case, then this could be the matrix within a matrix that I was talking about earlier. A projection is also interesting because it's not real life. It's light creating the illusion of reality, much like Plato's metaphor of the cave. People who've lived in the cave for their entire lives assume the shadows in front of the fire are reality because that's all they've ever known, just like the people who were born inside the Matrix. Then there's an explosion in this hallway in an office called DESHcussion.
How cool for Keanu. I just want to point out, this is making me think of it. How old is he? How old is Keanu? He's like, what, he's like 50, maybe? He is 57! How is he 50 freaking 7 years old? He looks amazing. I cannot understand. Oh my gosh, daddy indeed. Okay, so how cool for Keanu. He never didn't have a career as far as I'm concerned. I think he's always been like an A-list top actor. But he's really having like a huge comeback at, you know, almost 60 with his cyberpunk stuff and this, and it's just so cool. Also, you guys have probably heard when all the Me Too stuff was going on, all these like dirty laundry was getting out. But then I remember so many women came forward and they were like saying like Keanu Reeves accused of being like a gentleman and a good guy. And I'm like, oh, well, good. You know what I mean? He seems like a good guy, but...
Called Deus Ex Machina, or God in the Machine. This was the name of the machine leader that Neo struck a bargain with in Revelations. Now notice this person in the Matrix pod has a more elaborate hookup at the base of their neck, showing that the machines have evolved how they create simulations.
Wait, he said this person. That looks like Trinity. Is that not Trinity?
Then Trinity is fighting cops before being split into many copies.
So that was her.
She's probably a recurring code that simulates Trinity's consciousness. White Rabbit falls from a building like Trinity in Matrix Reloaded. This is an echo of the subway fight in Matrix 1, then the lobby from Matrix 1, attack helicopter from Part 1, and Neo stopping bullets like he did in all the other movies. Now Neo and Trinity work together to create this pulse of light. Maybe they both have special abilities because they have no bodies and are simply pure code. It's interesting that we also see ordinary people attacking them on the bike, and not just agents, which makes me think that either Alta humans want to take them down, or the Matrix could just all be NPCs who are trying to create a system of control around Neo. But check this out. This person has glowing eyes, like the guy who had...
Oh, I did not even notice that. Dang, like look at that. They are totally glowing. Deus Ex Machina is usually a plot device. It's a plot device. It basically means like when something unsolved magically and conveniently gets solved by divine intervention. Interesting.
Coding in his eyes earlier. Everyone is shuffling around like a zombie. Remember what the Oracle said about ghosts?
Every story you've ever heard about vampires, werewolves, or aliens is the system assimilating some program that's doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
These could just be ghosts and zombies inside the Matrix. How cool is that? And the trailer ends with them leaping off a building together, mirroring the leap of faith from the first movie. I love this trailer because it left everything so opaque and unrevealed. Maybe Neo's too powerful to keep around. Like if he wakes up, he could undermine the truce, or maybe he's already done this in the past. Maybe he went crazy because he's so...
This reminds me of Cyberpunk too. Like, I mean, you know, probably because we just had Keanu in Cyberpunk, but him looking in the mirror and like all this stuff, I'm like, wait, are we watching Matrix or is this Cyberpunk?
Heartbroken over losing Trinity, so they reintroduce her mind to give him adventures to go off on. Or maybe the humans want to break the truce, and they created their own Matrix to help hack into Neo and weaponize him. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.
Very freaking cool, guys. I gotta say, Bearded, that was actually way more exciting and very interesting. So, thank you. It also means, God out of the machine. Oh, really? You totally get the Cypher's point from the first movie. Living ignorantly bliss and wake up to the nightmare of the real world. It's such like a unique concept. I mean, again, totally ahead of its time. And I gotta go back and rewatch them all now to get super hyped for this. But yeah, Matrix lore, pretty fun. Dang, yeah. I mean, it makes me just want to dive in and like explore even more to like hear like the backstory of everything. Basically because zombies are on the minds of humans. They manifest in the world Neo exists. And the whole White Rabbit thing, I mean, the whole Alice Wonderland tie-in, I mean, gosh, really clever and really cool.